Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I don't have a read right now, but I did a meditation this morning that I must share with you. A lot of stuff came through. I'm surprised I actually remembered most of it to write it down. And there's a lot of very important messages, I think, coming through, so I did want to share it with you now. So I'm just trying to get myself together here. I just finished writing all my notes because then I was getting more stuff to investigate to bring to you now. So first I want to share with you some of the cards from the Good Tarot that I showed yesterday. It's a new deck that I have. One of the first images I got this morning was very similar to the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. So you see the portal where the face is looking through. And what I just noticed now is the heart at the top. It's like a patchwork heart, which will relate to my meditation, but also something that came up yesterday I wanted to expand on today, the patchwork. Because a message I got from my grandmother last year was, you know, you got it. Just take the different pieces of the patchwork quilt and bring them together. So it's about all of the talents of you in your life, everything that you've learned in your life. And your mission is basically to bring all of those aspects of yourself together. Everything you've learned in your life is what's bringing you toward what you love and what you want to do, your mission, okay? So I wanted to bring up the quilt because that was a very important message about bringing all the pieces of yourself, retrieving all of your soul pieces back into the quilt to sew it all together, and then you'll know. So the portal here is the first thing I saw, but it wasn't exactly like this. It was very simple. It was just a circle with a big face in it. And it reminded me of the glass-bottom boat as well, or like a submarine. And now I'm getting the Beatles. Okay? The yellow submarine. And I was also getting a heart in the meditation this morning, but I have to get into the order that I got things in the meditation so you understand where I'm going with this. And that for the masculine, I'm getting from this card still from the Wheel of Fortune, the Fortune's Wheel, that the heart for the masculine must lead the way now. The first thing I saw, let's see, so when I went into the meditation, I'm just going into my third eye. I got messages from the third eye, and then I naturally looked etherically to the left because that's just, I guess, the way I lean because I'm feminine. And so I have messages from the feminine that then guided me to go over to the masculine side and work over there. So I'm going to give you the sequence of events here. So first I saw a face in the portal, just like that, but it was like a glass-bottom boat or a submarine where they're looking through the glass. The looking glass also came up from Alice in Wonderland. But it was a very simple ring with a big face in it. It was definitely masculine. After that, I saw it, which is a portal, okay? So after that, I saw this portal, or this ring, where etherically the masculine grasped the one side of the ring, and the feminine's hand grasped the other side of the ring, and then the masculine, like floating, pulls his body up toward her, and they were both nude, and they just enveloped into one. It was just very beautiful sexuality, so they were melding together, but he brought himself to her. Then, it was like they were coming into their totality. Then what I saw in the middle was a Hulk-like creature, which I didn't know what it was. But he had little ears. It kind of reminded me of Batman's head, and I always refer to the Divine Masculine as Batman and the Batcave. But kind of Batman ears, and then he had wings, but it was kind of like a picture where the wings were actually cut off, so I couldn't see the whole thing. I could only see this much of him. But he was like the Hulk, but he wasn't green or black. He was brown, natural stone, okay? So the Hulk with wings, ears, squarish head, taking up the whole picture, radiating, but above this like kind of natural brown stone Hulk was bright magenta, just radiating off of him. It was just really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you can imagine off of dark brown, that beautiful light of magenta coming off of it was really beautiful. So I saw that, and then I was over to the left. So on the left side, I saw, first thing for the feminine was just really white light. So I knew that that was all about purifying today, to purify the system. And then I was getting the sacral energy and the orange, which I don't often see orange, okay? So I was doing the purification of myself down to the sacral as the sexual energy was coming in for purification. Then the third thing I saw on the feminine side was a symbol that I have gotten before already, so it was the second time I was seeing it. It's like it was like a number 4, like this, but it was like actually chopsticks. They were kind of on an angle. This one could be straight up, but this was kind of like on an angle, and like so above the other H or the other line, and then the line that came across here extended beyond this side. Okay, so it was like the number 4. I'm backward on the screen, so it's hard for me to show you this. So it was there's different symbols from this number that came, right? So it was 11. There was an 11 there, but there was also this line here making it a 4, and then this line extended past the 4 on this side. So there was another little line sticking out. So it reminds me of the Holiday Inn symbol, which it is, except the Holiday Inn symbol, when I looked it up, extends on both sides, and it's curved as opposed to straight. And I'll get to that in a minute. But I saw this number 4. That was the first thing I saw, which then I noticed was an 11, and then I noticed was that H that I'd seen before. So then I knew I had to go over to the Divine Masculine side to purify and help heal whatever was coming up for him on that side. So I looked to the left, or to the right, etherically, and I knew he was going to be coming up in magenta because I'd seen the Hulk. But the first color that flashed was green, very emerald, and then, but only for a second, and then it went into the magentas again. Lots of beautiful magentas, purples to violets for the masculine. We're all dancing, as well as flashes of the dark purple and green dancing, okay, because that's the masculine and feminine energy dancing. Then I was trying to get in, I knew I had to go to the white and oranges to see what was the problem over on the masculine side. And the white and orange, I couldn't even get orange, and if I could, it was very muted and very dull. And the white as well, I could not get the pure white, and I could barely get orange at all because they were dirty. The Divine Masculine, then I saw the Divine Masculine's head in the vaginal portal, right, because that's the portal. And it wasn't sexual at all. It was about the masculine wanting to get in, wanting to come in to be inside of the Divine Feminine. But then the wound of being taught that sex was wrong, impure, and dirty came in. So this is the wound we're clearing, and it's a big one. Then I was getting duck, duck, goose. So what is the game duck, duck, goose? Where you go around and you pat their heads, which is actually their crown, and then goose is the one he picks. That's you. He picked you to chase him. Then I was getting the goose that laid the golden egg, because you were the golden egg. And then him saying, if you are wrong, I don't want to be right, from the song. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right. And then getting the 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 2 minuses actually make a positive. So 2 negatives make a positive. So it wasn't necessarily saying 2 wrongs make a right, but if you're wrong, I don't want to be right, because after all, it's not about being right, it's about being happy. And the 2 negatives that cancel out each other and make a positive, right? The twins coming together make that beautiful positive. So then I was getting to go ahead and purify his white and orange lights. And I then was also getting, after a bit, I was able to clear the white and get it pretty pure. But then I was seeing an image, and this is actually a stretch that you need to do. It's easier to do lying down because you can get a really good stretch out of it. I was being shown the left arm up and being pulled by the right arm, just like I am now with my head positioned toward the right, and pulling like this with your left hip sticking out but lying down, and you're really going to feel the stretch all in here. All right, that needed to be opened up, and there's a universal chakra over here as well. So that was very important. And I kept telling my twin during the clearing of the orange, because I wasn't able to get the orange, you know, and the more you try, the more you block yourself. So I was just going to let go at that time, because you're being guided to not try and surrender. But so much sexual energy was coming in then, it was really sexual. As I was clearing the colors and any dark spots that came in, just using your light to transmute any of those dark spots. So I did the stretch. And I'm telling you, it was very sexual, so just be prepared. I did the stretch of stretching that left arm out, all right, definitely like this, lying down with your left hip out, and you're going to feel it mostly all in here. It's really tight. And then as I went on, not getting the orange, I put my fingers over my eyes because I was waking up. I'm like, well, I guess I should get up now because I'm not getting the orange. I can try again later or another time. Sorry, I'm still kind of trying to get myself together. My glasses are getting crooked. So I put my fingers over my eyes to rub, and it took all the light out. It was black, but like the night sky with the stars. But it wasn't like, you know, real. It was like a false dark sky when I put my fingers over my eyes, because I was blocking my light. I was saying, don't fence me in, don't block my light. You know, it wasn't like normally traveling etherically, where it's very natural in the sky and the stars and you see them. It was just very false, okay? But it wasn't ugly or anything. It was just dark with stars, but they were false. It was like a painting, more like. So then I let go. Let's see. So it went black, and it was a starry sky, but it was a false night sky. And then I let go of my eyes, and the yellow light came right in. It was like, don't block my light. So by doing that, it was like 2 negatives make a positive. It was just 12-12. And then all of a sudden, the sun came in. So I was guided to then move my head toward the right again, which was looking more towards my window, which, you know, the sun's coming up. It was bright outside. But even though it was like that, I wasn't able to get the light in before. Now the yellow light came in. I turned my head toward the right, and all of a sudden, boom, my whole field was filled with orange, bright and brighter, and then mixed with yellow, and then orange-yellow eye came up with some green around it. I had done that stretch, and then it was like it just opened up this whole field. And then I was guided, well, I got the orange, it's time to sit up. And as I kept my eyes closed, and I was doing the stretch still, and I sat up off the side of the bed and then opened my eyes to look at the clock, and it was 10:01. Okay, so it was a really beautiful meditation. So then my son's home, right, and he's definitely representative of the Divine Masculine. So I told him I did a meditation this morning. I got some really cool stuff, and he actually asked me to tell him about it, which he doesn't always want to hear what I have to say. So this is a good sign also for the masculine wanting to hear you, not ignoring you, wanting to hear what you have to say. So when I went to write all my notes about this, at 10:24, 24 being the Queen of Wands, I heard a loud dog noise, like screeching. It wasn't howling or barking, it was screeching like it was suffering, really loud. So I went to the door to open to see if a dog had gotten hit by a car or something, and as soon as I opened the door and let the light in, a woman was walking by and all was at peace again. So it was so much a message of don't ignore things, don't, put things off to the last minute. Pay attention to them. Your body is calling you to pay attention to it when you have any feelings in your body. But it's also outside yourself. When something's calling to you, answer the call, and that's sometimes all you need is to hear it, address it, and then it goes away magically. Everything's at peace again, okay? So don't let fear block you. Don't let fences close you in. So then my son wanted me to tell him about it, so I told him about what I saw, and that I saw this Hulk. I thought maybe he'd be able to help me with what character it might be. And he right away came up. He said, "I think that's the New Jersey Devil," and I don't remember what the New Jersey Devil looked like, so I looked it up online. But he was a bit thinner, and more, he had kind of like antler-like ears, so it wasn't quite him. But kinda, because he had wings, but he wasn't the right character. But it was similar. But I also showed him the stretch that I saw, and he just tends to be very stiff because he's got stiff joints, so it's hard for him to stretch. But boy, did he feel that. So it was perfect that I got him to do that. But not only that, but he went on a date last night, which was something great for the Divine Masculine as well, opening up to going out to something new. And after he did the stretch, he said, that's funny because my left shoulder was hurt when I was out last night with his date. And I'm like, well, how did you hurt yourself? And he's like, I didn't. It was just her when she was next to me on the left. So it was like the Divine Feminine was activating the masculine's left shoulder to open it up. And again, there's a universal chakra there. So he had some pain there, and I was guiding him that, well, that was just a call for you to pay some attention to that. And now, look, I was guided to give you that stretch, which now opened it up, which may resolve that issue, or open up whatever was blocked on the left feminine side. And then I was telling him about the feminine and how the masculine needs to unblock their feminine side and allow themselves to come more in alignment with their feminine into their heart space. As opposed, the aggression as opposed to the why do I always forget this word? The feminine sexuality is more I've been getting stuck on this word so many times, it's so silly. When it comes to me, I'll let you know. But just the difference between the masculine and feminine energies. But again, since the sexual energies were coming up today, I was talking about that to my son. So then I was guided to come back and look at that Hulk again, since it was coming up for the masculine, right? And he was Batman, but bigger, like the Hulk, with wings. So then I was looking at some of the characters online, and it wasn't the Hulk or anything like that. It was Batman, but just bigger with wings. And he wasn't black. He was brown because he was natural, not dark. And so I was getting this symbolic of the masculine as Ba, B-A-H, Bat, Angel, Hunk. So this was like my new cartoon character, like you would bring up in the comic strips. And so I look up Ba, of course, to see any references to that. And, it can mean Ba humbug, like, Ba, like Ba humbug. There's also the goat or the sheep, Ba black sheep. I just got that now. I wasn't getting that before. The black sheep of the family, okay? And the sheep, the shy sheep of the masculine is coming out. So Ba is even more perfect, but that's not even the Ba that I'm relating to for you guys right now. But Ba, again, is Bat, Angel, Hunk. Instead of Hulk, it's Hunk. And I was also trying to see if it should be Bat, a B-A-T, or a B-A-H, but that B-A-H was the first thing I was getting. So Ba humbug, it also means basic allowance for housing in the military. But then I was guided to the place Ba. So Ba in Agra, Ultar, and please forgive me, I'm going to pronounce all the names of the cities and the Indian names wrong because I don't know how to pronounce them. But Ba is in Agra, Uttar Pradesh, India, on Highway 62, and 62 is the Eight of Swords, the prison. 70 kilometers from Agra city and 55 kilometers from Etawah. The longitude and latitude were 26, 52, 12 north and 78, 35, 51 east. And what am I always telling you? What direction do I always get? East and north, northeast. And I actually live in the outside northeast Philadelphia. So here we have coordinates for a northeast city, and there's 3 rivers there. And this is from Wikipedia, the encyclopedia basically. Yamuna, Chambel, and Utangan. 3 rivers in the northeast city, 70 kilometers from Agra and 55, which is the truth, from Etawah. founded in 1700 by Maharaja Mahendra Kalyan Singh of Badawar, and Badawar separates into Bad, a war, and was called Kalyan Ba, which means, the Ba means flow of water. So this is for the masculine, Ba, flow of water. His emotions have been released. His feminine side is opening. The sacral energy, the sacral chakra has opened. Also, and Spirit's connecting with me, former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee is also from Bateshwar. And I was getting with Bateshwar. Give me a minute, my daughter's calling and she was in an accident. Sorry about that. And I stopped the video exactly at 21:00 to answer that call. My daughter was avoiding a pothole and ended up hitting another, so the tire blew. So she's waiting on the side of the road. It was just 21:12. So this is, you know, there's endings here. There's completions going on. So I was telling you the Prime Minister is also from Bateshwar. And it breaks up to Bat, ES, which is my initials, so for me that's Spirit's way of representing the Divine Feminine for you guys, so I know what it is. The Bat, ES, which is the masculine, because we were just talking about Batman, and that's the masculine. ES, and then the H came up, and I just told you I saw H. Bat, ES, H, war. So the masculine and feminine, H, which is 8, all right, their war, their dance, coming into 0 point with each other. Very cool. So Ba is famous, this place is famous for the Bhatshwarnath temple, which is of Lord Shiva. And it's a main temple with 108 more temples. So it's 109 temples of Lord Shiva, or Shiva, however you want to pronounce it, on the riverbank of Yamuna. And they have a November festival that attracts thousands of people from around. There's also a Siddha Devi temple. It's situated in Siddhawali village, which is 2 kilometers from the temple, and the Jain temple, or Jain temple at Shwaripur, or Har, it's believed to be of the Mahabharat Kal. Kambal Safari for nature lovers is another site there. Forts of Pinahat, I'm sorry, my daughter's calling again. Sorry about that. But this, Jane, where am I going? The Shambal Safari is there for nature lovers, as well as the forts of Pinahat and Bardawar, or Baturwar, and Parna are archaeological importance there. Okay, so those are the sites there. It's mainly Hindu, but Ba, Jaipur, and Pinahat all are together. However, the Jain and the Muslims also stay together. They all live in harmony there. There's no war there. So it's funny that everything is called war, but they're all in harmony. And they do have direct connects now to Delhi and Ahmedabad, at least with buses, if not new trains now. So anyway, but that's besides the point. So the point is that Ba means flow of water for the masculine, and that H is very significant because the H for me also is symbolic of the DNA chain, the ladder, but it's also the 8, okay, of the dance with the masculine and within yourself, the masculine and feminine, being at 0 point. So then I looked closer at the H symbol that I got, which is the number 4, right, with an extension here. So it's like an H off on an angle with the line through and then extending on the other end. So if you write that down, there's a couple different number combinations that come up. You know, you see the 4, you see the 11, You see an X and a 1, which is also 11, and then you see a V and a 1, which is still 11, 5 and 5 and 1, and then you see an H and a 1, which is 9, and a 4 and a V, which is also 9. So you see a pattern here? 911 times 2. And then I was also seeing it as chopsticks, which I never play on the piano, and I played it this week, chopsticks. I was definitely getting the chopsticks, so the music on the piano. There's something about chopsticks, maybe the notes having to do with the chakra coordinates. There's something releasing there as well. And it's 911. Okay? So, very cool. And I want to pull, I think that was it for now, yeah. I was looking back at the cards that I pulled from the deck yesterday just to remind you, because I showed you the Fortune's Wheel that came up. But also this first came up of the Page and the Seven of Fire with the unicorn there. And then the Two of Water with the Ten of Air came up, these two guys. I think the Two of Water was reversed, though it was. Those came up together, and the Six of Fire and Patience, which is the Temperance card, the 14 of the Angels. And there's so many angel wings in these cards. And this was the underlying energy, the Queen of Swords, which is you. And we ended the read at 5151, which is the King of Swords, times 2. Okay, look at all the feathers there. And then I noticed an owl in another card in my other deck that I never noticed before. And I think it was the Nine of Swords. There was an owl there. So, and I was getting Hooters. So it's definitely someone in Hooters. But also it's about wisdom and purity of the white owl and the feathers, the angelic realms. So I want to pull you a card from this real quick since we're going long already. It's already 27. This is 27. 27 is the Ace of Wands. New passion coming in. There's definitely sexual energy, like I said, in that meditation, going as soon as you go into opening up the sacral light, you're going to feel the sexual energy coming in. It was very strong. Just saying. Okay, I'm seeing the unicorn again. That was the Seven of Fire. And you notice how all those numbers came up? Wasn't that cool? The 7 and the 1700 and the coordinates of the Northeast. You know, how can you make this stuff up? Alright, so let's see what comes up for you guys. Today's the 27th, May 27. I was getting just now, don't fence me in again. 5 of change and expansion, but it's also the Hierophant of God. That can be God as well. And the 27, right, the third energy, that the sexual energy is that energy of God, the bliss energy, the 27, which is that Ace of Wands, and then we are in 2019 of the High Priestess and the Sun. I'm just getting the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, and then 3s were coming up. The 3 rivers came up in the town of Ba, and Baba Black Sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir, yes, sir. 3 bags full. What is it? 1 for my mother, 1 for the lane, 1 for the little boy that lives down the lane. And I told you I saw this card. Came up again. 7 of fire. Alright, so it's linking in the Ace of Wands of the fire, the new fire, and this wants to come out as well. The Empress, holding things close to her chest. Notice she's at her solar plexus, and a bunch of sticks like this is considered a rod. And I mentioned 39 lashes yesterday. And this is the other card that wants to come out with it all together. 4 of Earth. And for me in the Sirian Starseed deck, this is the Divine Masculine's heart, the Bat Cave. So cool. Okay, so we have the 7 of Fire, the Empress, with the rod brought, don't fence me in, I'm getting, but she's brought the rod to her chest, and the rod was made of sticks. In the bunch of sticks, they are considered soft trees, not hard sticks, which is like the wheat in her hand. They're soft. Separating the wheat from the chaff. There's another cut. This came right out of the deck in the middle, but it's sticking up. It wanted to come out. This is the Six of Earth reversed. Okay? So to correct that imbalance of the masculine and feminine in equitable distribution within each person. And I love this. This card wants to come out too. Hold on. This. And also, right, but that was reversed, so it's about the, I want to show you upright because it's very beautiful. So here we have a deer again, and I told you that the New Jersey Devil had antlers, and I live across from a small park here where we see deer a lot. With the antlers of the deer, and look at the beautiful balls like on a Christmas tree. Six of Earth is reversed. I also want to bring up that, alright, there's little trinkets hanging from his antlers. When I first started, after I'd been purging for a year and a half, my first year and a half on this journey, I went to a yoga retreat with my sister, and there was a medium there, so it was just 2 days, the weekend, and she always has 3 little trinkets or gifts to give people that spirit guides her to gift them to. And I ended up being one of the people she gifted something to, and it was a deer with antlers. It was like a Christmas ornament that said, I believe in miracles, or believe in miracles, and it's hanging on my lamp next to my bed, okay? So literally, okay? This is a beautiful card, I love this. I'm getting GE too. Oh, it's also the Irish, what's it called? I'm sorry, I'm so bad with the Irish stuff because I have no Irish in me. The Irish knot, I guess. So you see the symbols in there are the Irish knot. I don't know if they're all called, they're different, they're called different things, but they're variations of the Irish knot. Okay. But that's definitely about bringing in, rebalancing the masculine. So here's all this feminine energy to come in and rebalance the masculine energy. And I'm just being guided that you don't need miracles because you have the power to do it. You don't need charms, you're already charmed. The bottom of the deck is also the card we got from yesterday, Six of Fire reversed. It was upright yesterday, but today it's reversed. Okay, so this is the card, what it looks like. So it's about the ship coming in with all the balloons around it, and it's like a lighting ceremony where everyone lights a, what are they called? But you know, the candles that float up in the air. That's what I'm getting. The ship's coming in as the hot air rises, as we get into summer. But it's reversed today. It was upright yesterday, but the underlying energy today is reversed because the feminine cools things off, okay? The masculine heat rises, the feminine cools. Not to rush things, but to take your time. So you have those 4 cards that came up, and then 3 more came out together. Oh, and this is really beautiful too. I haven't seen most of these cards yet, so this is Page of Fire is reversed, and I'll show it to you both ways. This is like Christmas too, like Christmas ornaments. Okay, but it's reversed. And then Ace of Fire, which is upright. All right, again, this is the Ace of Wands coming up again. And then this is the Chariot reversed. Okay? Oh, I'm getting "Don't Fence Me In" again, and my daughter's stuck at the side of the road with her car right now. So cool that this came up. Okay, this is showing you how the cards relate to things. But we have I'm sorry, this is the Page of Fire. Did I say that? The Page of Fire is it's so pretty. I love the colors in this. Is the Page of Wands. So we have the Page of Wands reversed with the Ace of Fire, or the Ace of Wands, and then the Chariot reversed. So Ace of Fire is in the middle, all right? There's arousal here. There's major new start, new creativity. Oh, it's the lanterns that go up in the air. So I'm getting the lantern. It's showing me you couldn't figure out what the word was. It's this. It's a lantern. But the Page of Wands is reversed, which can be like a child having a temper tantrum, but it also can be lack of inspiration. And the Chariot's reversed. And this is literally my daughter. It's the side note coming out. My daughter at the side of the road with a broken down car. Right? So she's not having a temper tantrum, but she's uninspired because it's not a good place to be. But then she also has this lantern, the light coming in, like calling mom to see what to do and allowing things to just happen naturally and not to worry. It's just a broken down car. Because, she kept calling me back because she doesn't know who to call, and she was calling a guy friend to see if they could come help her change the tire. Or I said, we'll just get towed, call the insurance company, and she called me back, said, let me know what's going on. I'm like, just call them, they're there to help you. But she was dealing with it really well. She wasn't getting upset or anything. But obviously uninspired on the side of the road. But here we're talking about the masculine and feminine energies. The car broke down because the aggression of the car is masculine. The breaking down of the car is the feminine. All right? The balloons being heated up and rising up in the air was the masculine. The turning over of that card is the feminine, pulling it back in. You get it? So it's the fire and ice of it, the masculine and the feminine. It's showing you the pulse of the masculine and the feminine, to take your time, don't rush. Don't jump into a relationship, take it one step at a time. 7 of Fire, of standing up for yourself. Be the empress that you are. Don't lower yourself for other people. 4 of Earth is the divine masculine's heart, the bat cave. Allow him to open his heart. Allow him into your heart. Allow him to bring you into his heart. And then we have the 6 of Earth reversed again, which was the rebalancing of the masculine and feminine, allowing the feminine to come in and cool things off. Okay? So it's not bad when things cool off. It's the masculine learning to bring his feminine in. So this is good. Don't see it as a negative that he doesn't want to passionately just come in and sweep you off your feet. He's learning not to be that way. Right? To go the pulse of the masculine fire rising up and the feminine of bringing it back in. He's learning that, so it's good that he's not, being crazy. Or somebody might crazily rush in, but then it may cool off. Don't take it as a bad thing. It's about the dance between the masculine and the feminine. Really beautiful message. I love that. So don't worry about the Chariot reversed. Like I said, it's just feminine energy. When there's too much masculine, she's driving, maybe she was driving too fast and she saw a pothole and tried to avoid it and ended up hitting another one instead. Okay? So when you're trying to go too fast, you need the feminine to draw you back in. And my daughter definitely has a lot of masculine in her. So that's perfect. I love this read. All right, so I'm going to go, so it's not too long. It's in 39. Make sure to drink your water and get your rest. But just have fun. Go outside, put your feet in the grass. Be like a little kid. Be silly. Hang out with your kids. Do whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as you make yourself happy and do what you love to do, not what anyone else tells you. Guys, just rise and be love and be good to yourselves. I'll talk to you later.